WPJ TV's Comedy Night. I'm Brianna. We have the best stand-up comedians on campus, and they're here to keep you laughing for the next half hour. Let's get started with today's show with Michaela.
All right. Well, hi everyone. My name is Michaela, and I'm just going to start off by saying I'm sorry that these jokes are so bad. And but the biggest joke is my crippling anxiety. But we're gonna move on. So the first one is, what did the janitor say when he jumped out of the closet? Supplies. Okay. A policeman pulled me over because I had bees in my car. He must have thought I was buzzed. I am terrified of elevators, but I'll be taking steps to avoid them. I couldn't figure out my seatbelt, but then it clicked. You can't run through a campground. You can only ran because it's past tense. Okay. Without nipples, boobs would be pointless. Man, when you have a bladder infection, you're in trouble. What do you call a cow with no legs?
Steak.
Ground beef. My doctor said I had type A blood, but it was a typo. For winners and students. What did the blanket say as it fell off the bed? Oh, sheet. Out. I was sitting in traffic the other day. Probably why I got ran over. What do you call someone who immigrated to Sweden? Artificial sweetener. Rachel, this one's for you. Did you hear about the fight between Steve Harvey and his wife? It was a family feud. What do you call a fish with no eye? When I'm reversing the car, I always say, this takes me back. What do you call a man with no nose and no body? Nobody knows. And what do you call a woman with no arms and no legs that's sitting on a barbecue? Patty. I'm sorry and thank you.
Oh, thanks, Michaela. You're watching WPJ TV's Comedy Night. Coming up next, it's Rachel.
Great. My name's Rachel, and these jokes are really awful, so I'm sorry. What did the mermaid wear to math class? An algebra. What did the buffalo say to his son when he left for college? Bye, son. What is it called when you lend money to a bison? A buffalo. What did the psychiatrist say when a man wearing nothing but saran wrap walked into his office? I can clearly see your nuts. What do mermaids wash their fins with? Tide. What do you call syrup with a speech impediment? Mrs. Stuttersworth. What did Aunt Jemima say when she ran out of pancakes? How awful. What did the car say to its tires? Thanks for keeping it wheel. What did the grizzly say when he called customer service? Just bear with me. What do you call someone who sells himself in exchange for spaghetti? A prostitute. addicted to the hokey pokey, but I turn myself around. Why did the golfer bring 2 pairs of pants? In case he got a hole in one. What do you do with epileptic lettuce? Make a seizure salad. Great, thank you.
Very good.
Thanks, Rachel. Don't worry, there's lots more laughs here on WPJ TV's Comedy Night. Coming up next, it's Haley.
Hi everyone, I'm Haley. And why did the yogurt go to the museum? Because it was cultured. How many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh? I heard you say that.
Tentacles.
What kind of room can't you enter? A mushroom. What do you get when you decorate for Christmas? Tinnitus. Why did the fish get bad grades? Because it was below sea level. How do you put an alien baby to sleep? You rock it. Where did Noah keep his bees? In his archives. What do you call a snobbish criminal going down the stairs? A condescending. Why did the mermaid wear seashells? Because the B shells were too small and the D shells were too big. What do you call a bomb that doesn't explode but lands on a cow? A milk dud? What job did the frog have at the hotel? A bellhop. Where does the electric cord go to shop? The outlet mall? Why don't they put, wait, I must have mishapped this one. Never mind. That doesn't make sense. What's a skeleton's favorite instrument? A trombone. When does a duck wake up?
The quack of dawn.
Yeah. What did the one eye say to the other eye? Between you and me, something smells. What did the big bucket say to the smaller one? Looking a little pale there. Why do seagulls fly over the sea? Because if they flew over the bay, they'd be called bagels. This is my favorite one, okay? So I hope everybody laughs. What is the difference between girl spaghetti and man spaghetti? Meatballs. Thank you.
Thanks, Haley. I'm Brianna, and you're watching WUPJ TV's Comedy Night. And coming up next, it's another great comedian star. Here's Jeremiah.
Hi, I'm Jeremiah, and I found a list of the worst possible jokes from online to tell you, so I guess here we go. Did you hear the one about the roof? Don't worry, it's over your head. So, 2 guys walk into a bar. One says, ouch. Sometimes trees look scary. Don't worry, they're all bark, no bite. How do you stop Canadian bacon from curling in a frying pan? you take away its little broom. What's red and bad for your teeth? A brick. Did you know the first French fries weren't made in France? They were cooked in Greece. I was up all night wondering where the sun went. Then it dawned on me. Who came between Mr. D and Mr. F? It's a mystery.
Oh.
How do you make holy water? You boil the hell out of it. Have you ever eaten an alarm clock? It's very time consuming. I remember the last words my grandfather said to me before he kicked the bucket. He said, "Hey, watch how far I can kick this bucket." I went to a restaurant on the moon recently. Great food, no atmosphere. Why was hipster Santa arrested? Because he was putting coal in bad kid stockings before it was cool. What are the strongest days of the week? Saturday and Sunday. The rest of the days are weekdays. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeremiah. If you thought that was funny, just wait till you see who's next. Here's Zach with some great stories to tell.
Hi guys, my name is Zach. So instead of some jokes, I have a few stories to tell you guys. So every year, my family and I go down to this lake in Ohio. It's called Lake Hope. We just go camping there every year. And the one year, we took this boat out onto the lake, and it's just like this small little boat with a motor on it. And I was real young, probably like 8 or 9 years old, and my mom let me drove the boat when we got out farther in the lake. And whenever we were coming on our way back, our battery was like about to die, and we were out in the middle of the lake, and I decided I wanted to go near the shore to explore the lily pads. And I ended up taking the boat right into the lily pads, and it got stuck in there. The motor got caught on the lily pads. And anyways, somebody had to come out and rescue us, and we were out there for a few hours, and it just wasn't very good. Then one year, same lake, we were fishing off this dock, and I saw this turtle come by. And the year prior, I think my sister, she caught a turtle one year, and I was real jealous the next year, so I wanted to catch this turtle real bad just to one-up my sister. So this turtle came by, floating by, and I threw my fishing line out there to try to catch it, and it bit on, and I reeled it in a little bit, then I managed to get off, and it was right beside the dock at this point. And right beside the dock there's a rock, and it was pretty slippery because it's underwater. And I thought that I could just step out onto the rock and just scoop it up with this net I had. And I ended up stepping onto the rock, and the first thing I did was just wipe out right into the water, right in front of all these guys too, and they just started laughing at me. And then finally, one year, we made this campfire out beside our tent, and we made it right on this slope, and it was right beside the woods too. And I always liked it when I was younger to go in and explore the woods and just kind of like walk around and explore. And I ended up going in and I found this big log. It was probably 10, 20 feet long. And I just decided to put that into the fire and just let it burn for a while. And anyways, I completely forgot about it, and I just wasn't paying attention. And I got up to go get a marshmallow to make some s'mores, and the log was all the way out of the fire by 10 or 20 feet. And anyways, I was walking to go get the marshmallow, and I tripped over the log, and I kicked the log, which it was all the way under all the logs in the actual fire itself. So I kicked the logs over, and then the fire went everywhere because we had newspapers beside the fire to help us get it started. And it caught all the newspapers on fire right beside our tent. Our tent almost got caught on fire. And so after that, I was not allowed to go get any more logs from the woods and bring them in. So that was it. Thank you.
Thanks, Zach. Now it's my turn.
I don't think you should go back.
Okay, my name's Brianna. Did you hear about the actor who fell through the floorboards? He was just going through a stage. Why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make everything up. What sits at the bottom of the sea and twitches? A nervous wreck. How does Moses make tea? He brews. What happens to a frog's car when it breaks down? It gets towed away. What did the duck say when he bought lipstick? Put it on my bill. Okay, I'm bringing out a Yo Mama joke. Okay. Your mama is so ugly. When she tried to join an ugly contest, they said, sorry, no professionals. Okay. A husband exclaims to his wife one day, your butt is getting really big. It's bigger than the barbecue grill. Later that night in bed, the husband makes some advances towards his wife, who completely brushes him off. What's wrong, he asks. She answers, you really think I'm going to fire up this big-ass girl for one little weenie? Oh my God, I'm crying. Okay. The blonde said, what does IDK stand for? Brunette, I don't know. Blonde, OMG, nobody knows. Why do hamburgers go to the gym? To get better buns. What do you call a sad coffee? Depresso. And that's all I have for today. Thank you. I'm Brianna. This is WPJ TV Community Night. It's continuing now. Comedy night. It's continuing now with more great comedy with Christy.
Okay. Hello guys, my name is Christy. My first joke, I want to give you some background on it. My sister, who is 9, called me yesterday and told me this joke. Kind of, it's a finish the sentence. Wash it, wash it, wash it. Yes it is. 9-year-old called me and told me that yesterday. That's fine, okay. What is Michelle Obama's favorite vegetable? Broccoli. Yeah. Where would you learn to make ice cream? Sunday school. Why can't your nose be 12 inches long? Because then it'd be a foot. Why couldn't the kids see the pirate movie? It was rated R. Yeah. What does a pig say in the desert? Man, I'm baking out here. What is Forrest Gump's password? 1, Forrest, 1. Did you hear about the 2 guys that stole the calendar? They each got 6 months. How do you make a milkshake? You take a cow to a horror movie. Why did the kettle get so hot? To blow off some steam. Why don't cannibals eat cows? No, clowns, not cows. Duh, okay. Anyway, wait, repeat. Why don't cannibals eat clowns? Because they taste funny. What do sea monsters eat? Fish and ships. What do you call a sleepwalking nun? A Roman Catholic. Why don't they play poker in the jungle? Because there's too many cheetahs. Why didn't the toilet paper cross the road? Because it got stuck in a crack. How does a squid go into battle? Well armed. And then my last one is, what do you call a frozen dog? A popsicle.
I literally have that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Christy. Don't go away. There's lots more comedy before we're done. Coming up next, it's Bethany.
Alright, well, I'm Bethany, and I'm going to tell you a story first, and then I'll tell you a couple jokes. So, alright, well, I'm just going to go with it. Okay, so I was driving down my boyfriend's lane, and he was leaving, and so he was, like, long gone, and I left, like, 10 minutes after him. And his lane, it's really hard to get out of. There's, like, trees blocking it, so you basically just have to floor it and go. Or, like, you die, basically, honestly. So I go, and I'm, like, pulling out, and I'm, like, looking, and I'm like, alright, I think I'm good. And all of a sudden, I just floor, and all of a sudden I hear this high shriek noise. It's like nails on chalkboard. And I swear, this happened in slow motion. I just look out my window, and I just see my car scraping across his mailbox slowly. And I'm like, oh my god. And so I'm like, all right, whatever. And so I call him. I'm crying. Like, we just started dating, so I was, like, really embarrassed. And I was like, I'm so sorry. He's like, I'll get my dad. It's fine, whatever. I'm like, no, you have no mailbox. And so I pulled back into his lane, and I went and I was like, don't call your dad, it's fine, whatever. He's like, that's fine. And I go and I'm like, well, I call him back. I'm like, hey, I do need your dad. My car's not starting. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't know what's happening. Like, my RPMs aren't going up. I'm hitting the gas. I don't know what's happening. And he's like, all right, he'll be down. So he comes down the lane, and he's like, hey, he calls me Bets. He's like, hey, Bets, what's the problem? And I'm like, my car's not starting. He's like, all right, lift the hood, pop it. He goes under. He looks at me, and he's like, hey, your car sounds pretty quiet. And he's like, is it started? I'm like, really cocky. I'm like, yeah, of course it started. He's like, all right, just whatever, get out. And he goes, he sits in the driver's side. He turns the key, and it goes boom, 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 and it starts up. And I'm like, don't tell anyone about this. And they bring it up every year because I don't know why, but I hate it. And, okay, I have a joke. I don't remember it. Hold on, I have it on my phone. Okay, how do you make a tissue dance? Yes. Why does Snoop Dogg carry an umbrella? Faux drizzle. And, I never make mistakes. I thought I did once, but I was wrong. And last one is, what does a nosy pepper do? Gets all up in your business. Thank you.
Thanks, Bethany. You're watching WPJ's TV Comedy Night with the greatest stand-up comics on campus. Coming up next, it's Taylor.
Hi, my name is Taylor, and I'm actually going to change what I was going to say a little bit. I'm going to go off of what Bethany said. I have a similarly embarrassing story. I'd been dating my boyfriend for 2 years, and I'd worked 14 hours, driven an hour to his house, and when I pulled in, they were having a party, and so there was cars all through his driveway, and his mom was like, oh, just pull in the garage, just pull in the garage, and I was like, are you sure? She was like, yeah. So I'm like inching up into the garage, and I like put my foot on the gas, and I was going like not even 2 miles an hour, and I clipped the inside panel of his garage door, and the entire thing just snaps in half. And I was sitting in my car like, and so I start crying. He comes up, and I'm like, I can't go down there. Like, there's like 20 people at your house right now. I've never met any of them, and I just destroyed your garage. And he was like, no, it's fine. And his parents were laughing, and I was bawling. So then I walked out, and now all of the friends that were there call me Crash. So that's my embarrassing story. But some jokes that I have are just about things that I think we can all relate to. Being afraid to check your bank account is the adult version of being afraid to check your grades. But college is being afraid to check both. Being in your 20s is weird. I know a guy who works in Congress, but I also know a guy whose middle name on Facebook is Kush, and he wants everyone to check out his SoundCloud. When a family member says, wow, it really looks like you're having fun at college. Well, yeah, Tina, I don't post pictures of me crying into my textbook. You know the crappy part about roommates? You can't live with them, but you also can't afford to live without them. Everyone in college is in the same boat, don't worry. I mean, we're all in the Titanic and we're definitely all going down, but we're there together. Whenever I'm on campus and a tour of high schoolers walk past, I feel like a zoo exhibit. Like, wow, look, it's a college student in their natural habitat. And then this one's a question. So what do college students and deer have in common? They both stand in the middle of the road and stare at your headlights. And then my last one is, so what weekend or what holiday will we be celebrating this weekend?
St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick, the patron saint of binge drinking and bad decisions. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Thanks, Taylor. More laughs just ahead here on WPJ's TV's Comedy Night. Coming up next, it's Shauna.
Alright, I'm Shauna. Happy you guys took my jokes already, so I'm hoping I can reach 2 minutes. Alright, what starts with E, ends with E, and contains one letter?
Envelope.
Good job. What do you call a bee that can't make up its mind? A maybe. What did the sushi say to the bee? Do you know it?
I don't know.
Wasabi. Alright, what do you call a belt with a watch on it? A waste of time. This is kind of a riddle. What has 1 head, 1 foot, and 4 legs? Anybody? A bed. How many lips does a flower have?
2 lips.
Yeah. Why did the bicycle fall over? Because it was too tired. Alright, knock knock.
Who's there?
2.
To who?
It's actually to whom. What's a pirate's favorite letter?
R.
It's actually the C. What did the green grape say to the purple grape? Oh my God, breathe! I went to the zoo the other day. There was only 1 dog in it. It was a pretty shit zoo. This is my dad's favorite joke. A 3-legged dog walks into a saloon. He slides up to the bar and announces, "I'm looking for the man who shot my paw." And it's not that fun. What's it called when a hospital runs out of maternity nurses? A midwife crisis. Alright, the nursing people might know this one. Or get it. Knock knock. HIPAA.
HIPAA who?
I can't tell you. I once heard a joke about amnesia, but I forgot about it. What do you call a singing computer?
Adele.
I like that you guys know some of these. What did the ocean say to the shore? Nothing. It just waved. Alright. Why did Waldo go to therapy?
He couldn't find himself.
Yeah. If you didn't hear, it's to find himself. Alright, and the last one, and I hope I reach 2 minutes. What did the evil chicken lay? Yes. Thank you.
Thanks, Shauna. You're watching WPJ TV's Comedy Night. Coming up next, it's Allie.
Alright, hi everyone, I'm Allie, and a lot of my jokes got stolen too, so. Alright, where did the sheep go on vacation?
Bahama.
Yeah, the Bahamas. Why shouldn't you marry a tennis player? Because love means nothing to them. What did the teddy bear say when it was offered some birthday cake? No thanks, I'm stuffed. What goes up but never comes down? Your age. And speaking of age, did you know that statistics show that those who have the most birthdays live the longest? What is the difference between a snowman and a snow woman?
Snowballs.
Yeah, snowballs. What do you get? What do you get when you cross a snowman and a vampire? Frostbite. Why did the physics teacher break up with the biology teacher?
No chemistry.
Yeah, there's no chemistry. I told a chemistry joke the other day, but there was no reaction. Why do the French like to eat snails so much?
They don't like fast food.
Yeah, they can't stand fast food. Why is Cinderella bad at soccer? Because she's always running away from the ball.
Why does Waldo always wear stripes? Because he doesn't want to be spotted. How did the trees feel in the spring? Relieved. Which U.S. state has the smallest soft drinks? Minnesota. What kind of music is scary for balloons? Pop music. What do you call a bear with no teeth? A gummy bear. What does a painter do when he gets cold? He just puts on another coat. If you ever get cold, you should stand in a corner. They are usually around 90 degrees. The other day, a man got hit in the head with a bottle of Coke, but he was okay because it was just a soft drink. That's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Allie. Don't worry, there's lots more laughs here on WPJ TV's Comedy Night. Coming up next, another wild story. Here's Daniel.
So, hey guys, my name's Daniel. And since it's comedy night tonight, I wanted to go ahead and tell you about the funniest thing that has ever happened to me in college. This story is about my friend, Jen. And you'd really have to know Jen to appreciate the story. But I'm going to give you a little bit of background information on her. She's about 350 pounds. She's been smoking since we were in the 7th grade. And she has about $3 in her bank account at all times. So like it's kind of all of us. But that being said, I've literally never met a more kind and genuine person in my life, and I do mean that. But anyway, 2 years ago, Jen decides that she's going to drive down to UPJ and give me a visit. So she goes ahead and does that, and we go out to eat, and we eat this really big dinner, and we come back to my apartment, and Jen decides that it's a good idea to make some margaritas. And I was like, okay, that sounds like a good idea, because, you know, why not? Except the only thing was, we didn't really know how to make margaritas. So we took some tequila and some ice and some mixer, and we mixed it all over the blender. And we drink these margaritas, and I'm not kidding you, they tasted like dirty Mexican like water from a puddle or something. Like they were really bad. But we were broke and we didn't have any more money, so we drank all of them. And then Jen decides that she wants to go out, so we went out and we're dancing and carrying on and having a good old time. And she looks at me and she goes, "Oh, I don't feel good." And I was like, "What do you mean you don't feel good?" And she was like, "We gotta go. I just not feeling well." So we take our butts, our happy little dancy butts, we start walking back to my apartment, which is off campus, and we make it to the bus stop over by the LLC. Now, this is where the story goes from the worst. We're sitting at the bus stop, and Jen's like, "I can't go any further." And bless her heart, because she really can't. I told you she's like 250 pounds and she's drunk. And so I'm like, okay, so I walk the rest of the way back and get my neighbor to drive me over to get Jen, who's waiting at the bus stop. And we get back, and Jen, bless her heart, she is sitting on the bus stop with one foot up in the air, like she had her foot resting on the bus stop, puffing on a cigarette, throwing up into her own purse because she didn't want to leave a mess for somebody. And I told you that she was a really nice person, and that's how I know. So that is the funniest thing that ever happened to me in college. So thanks.
Thanks, Daniel. I'm Brianna, and you're watching WPJ TV's Comedy Night. And coming up next, it's another great comedy star. Here's Cameron.
Okay, I'm Cameron, and I found a website with some Robin Williams jokes, so I'll say some of them, then go back to the regular jokes. So I walk into my son's room the other day. He's got 4 screens going at the same time. He's watching a movie on one, playing a game on another, downloading something on another one, and texting on the 4th one. Some people say he has ADD. I just say he's really good at multitasking. You know the difference between a tornado and a divorce in the South? Nothing. Someone's going to lose that trailer. Beer commercials usually show big men, manly men, doing things like, you just killed a small animal, it's time for a light beer. Why not have a realistic beer commercial with a realistic thing about beer? Where someone goes, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, you just peed on a dumpster, now it's Miller time. There's not enough guys in the room for this one, but if women ran the world, we wouldn't have any wars, just intense negotiations every 28 days. There's one more. Do you think God likes to get stoned? I think so. Just take a look at the platypus. That's all.
You don't get it.
The platypus? You ever see one?
Yes.
Alright, I guess we'll talk about it later. And those are the ones that were, I guess, good enough to read. So, well, these are bad. Where do pencils go on vacation? Pennsylvania. Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance?
He had no body to go with.
You got it. What do you call 2 bananas? Slippers.
I don't get it either.
I don't either. And how do you fix a cracked pumpkin with a pumpkin patch? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Cameron. If you thought that was fun, you just wait till you see who's next. Here's Ray.
Okay, my name is Ray. What happens when frogs park illegally? They got told. You are American when you go into a bathroom, and you are American when you come out. But do you know what you are when you are in there? European. If someone asks me, like someday a girl asked me what's under there, I was like, underwear, and she kept laughing at me all day. Okay, enter. Do you think I'm a bad mom? My name is Ray. How do you call a deer with no eyes? No idea. Yeah. Can a kangaroo jump higher than a house? Of course, a house doesn't jump at all. Did you hear about the circus fire? It was intense. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
I have 6 eyes, 2 mouths, and 3 ears. What am I? Ugly. What does a grape say when it's stepped on? Nothing, it's just lets out a little wine. Yeah. What do you call a pig that does karate? A pork chop. What's brown and sticky?
A stick.
Okay. What does a panther do when he gets cold? He puts on another coat. Next one is an American traditional knock-knock joke. Knock-knock.
Who's there?
Who?
Who?
You sound like a owl. Guess that the restaurant says, I refuse to eat this roast beef. Please call the manager. And the waiter says, that's no use. He won't eat it either. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Ray. WPJ TV Comedy Night is continuing now with some more great comedy with Sydney.
Okay, my name's Sydney, and my first one I'm going to go with a nice little throwback. Christy's going to spell out ICUP for me.
ICUP.
Yeah, that's it. So I kind of tried to like categorize mine. So I went with the nurses first. How many nurses does it take to screw in a light bulb? None. They just have a nursing student do it. And then someone used my other one. I did the midwife one, but so then I went to baseball. Which baseball player holds water? The pitcher. What are the rules in zebra baseball? 3 strikes and you're out. For the softball people, what do you get when you cross a softball player with a monster? A doubleheader. I did golf too, but I'm just going to say it again. Why do golfers always carry an extra pair of pants with them? In case they get all Go. This is just for school. What kind of ships do students study on? Scholarships. For people who like math, what do you call a number that can't keep still? A Roman numeral. Why is a math book depressed? Because it has so many problems. Are monsters good at math? Not unless you count Dracula. For people who like basketball, what did March say to all the madness? Wait, I don't think I wrote. I wrote the answer. I can't tell you what it is, but I'm sure you can find it online. And my last one is, what do you call a pig who never passes the basketball? A ball hog. That's all I have.
Thanks, Sydney. Don't go away. There's lots more comedy before we're done. Coming up next, it's Olivia.
Alright. So my name's Olivia. Christy's gonna volunteer first. Okay, Christy, look down at the ground. Okay. No, not that hard. Just like right here.
Okay.
And spell attic.
Like an attic in the house?
Yeah.
ATTIC.
I thought that was funny. Anyway. Like what? Like ATTIC, you get it? Like ATTIC. Okay, so I can get it. Okay, so I have a Helen Keller joke. Helen Keller walks into a bar, and then a chair, and then a wall. What do you call a pile of kittens? A meowton. Okay. Did you hear about the race between the lettuce and the tomato? The lettuce was ahead, and the tomato was trying to catch up. What did the one hat say to the other hat? Oh, you stay here, I'll just go on ahead. Did you hear about the hungry clock? It went back for seconds. Okay. How did the chicken cross the freeway? Take the F out of free and the F out of way. There is no F in way. What do you call a cow with 2 legs? Lean beef. Crap. Oh, what do you call a camel with no humps? Humphrey. Why did the computer go to the doctor? Because it had a virus. Oh shit. Okay. Why did the giraffe get bad grades? Because he had his head in the clouds. Okay, that was all. Thank you.
Comedy Night. I'm Brianna. Thanks for joining us. Goodbye.